Jesus, in what is called the Sermon on the Mount, listed a number of items that determine your blessedness. You are living in joy. You are living in contentment. He says the first one is, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Second one is, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. The third one is, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. The next is, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Seventh one is, blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. The next one is, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. The next is, blessed are the peacemakers. Wow. Peacemakers are important. And they are said, for they will be called children of God. The next one is, blessed are those who are persecuted. Can you imagine? Those who are persecuted, but please listen, not just persecuted, persecuted because of righteousness. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the people when people insult you, you are now blessed. When they persecute you, when they falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of Christ. In conclusion, we are told, if you are within those blessings, Beatitudes, rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, not just here, but in heaven. For in the same way, they persecuted the prophets who are before you. So it means that God has already declared for us the kind of attitude that can help you to live a life of contentment, a life of joy, a life of peace. The question is whether you commit yourself. The first thing, according to the Lord, that will help you to live a life of joy and contentment is when you know that the kingdom of heaven is yours. And you can understand that, when you know the kingdom of God is yours, then you know, even if you are to die, this is a temporary existence. The kingdom of God is eternal, is forever. And so a lot of things that make people worried, make them shocked, traumatized because of fear. You will not fear because you know, however bad the thing you are going through is, the worst it can do to you is kill you. And if you die, for you who is assured of the kingdom of God is yours, you know you have eternity with Christ. And so it doesn't cause you any fear. But in order for the kingdom of heaven to be yours, Jesus says, you must be poor in spirit. What does that mean? Poor in spirit. It means you have no pride right within you. You don't trust in yourself. You have nothing to be proud about. You take everything you are and have as belonging to the owner of the kingdom of heaven. So you approach things in such a way that there is humility, an acknowledgement of God's place in your life. So, why is it so important that you know that the kingdom of heaven is yours? Because once you know how important it is, it will cause you to want to find out But do I qualify? Am I poor in spirit? You know, the things of this earth are so temporary, so temporary, that one has to sit and know that the changes are coming continuously. In fact, somebody said the only constant thing in life is change. So the great question you must understand is, even when you are having a very nice time, you have just had a promotion, you have been blessed with a child, all good things have happened. Something at the back of your mind tells you this may not necessarily last. And it kind of tampers with the joy. But about when you know all these things may keep changing, but you have one aim, to be part of the kingdom of God, to have eternity with Christ. It is kind of these frustrations of earth start fading. The songwriter said that you should set your eyes on Jesus. Set eyes on Jesus, and the things of this earth will grow strange, redeemed in the light of his power and grace. What the songwriter is saying, when you put your eyes on Jesus, the frustrations of this life will grow strangely dim. They no longer cause you trauma. So you can therefore see that knowing that the kingdom of God is yours gives you hope, and hope that cannot be moved, because the things that are moved on earth are just temporary. Hope that is constant, and hope that will get you through any and every problem on earth. Hope is the thing that keeps people going. When you hear somebody has committed suicide, it's never because of problems. Problems cannot cause you suicide. It is being in problems and not seeing their solution. You do not see them ending, so you feel helpless. You feel, is life worth? But even if you're in a serious problem, you will be in pain in a hospital bed, but the doctor tells you, this thing we can sort out. The kind of medicine we are giving you, don't worry the current pain. You, in 2-3 days, you'll be out of this pain. It makes you able to carry the pain because of hope. You can never commit suicide, have a match the pain, have a match the frustration the moment you have hope. So can you see then, if you have the kingdom of God in your heart, you have hope in your heart, there's no frustration that can bring you totally down, because you can see, yes, I'm in problem, but even this one is coming to pass. It will not bother me in the very long term. I will still continue to live even beyond this life. So please see, the kingdom of God is important. But how do you join the kingdom of God? This, Jesus is telling them, for, for you to be part of this kingdom of God that gives you hope, you must be poor in spirit. There are many people who are in church, in Sunday school. They read the Bible, but they do not totally surrender their life to the Lord. They are not born again. Why? They feel I can manage. Why do I need God? Why is God important in my life? Where does he come in? That's called pride. And of course, a bit of foolishness. To imagine you can cope in this life, and the next, these are not areas you have any capacity to handle. It's not wisdom to reject salvation offered by the death of Jesus on the cross. You need that poverty of spirit in order for you to assess yourself properly and know anything you have is a gift from God. How can you throw it back to his face by not acknowledging him? And yet, even the very breath of life is a gift you have gotten from him. Poor in spirit means you acknowledge that anything you have, you're only a steward. God is one who has given it. And you want him to take over the running of your life. That means you then become poor in spirit. You are poor. You may have a lot of wealth everywhere, but that's not your wealth. In your spirit, you know you belong to God and everything you have is his. So, blessed are the poor in spirit. Why? Theirs is the kingdom of God. Put differently, blessed are the people who, who, who can say with certainty that they are part of the kingdom of heaven. The one that rules in this life, and there is life to come. There's an eternity with Christ. Once you can say you have that, then you truly are blessed. You have joy. But to qualify it, you must surrender everything to the owner of that kingdom of heaven. And so you become poor in spirit. You become one who is not willing to have any pride in terms of possession, any time pride in terms of fame and glory, because you surrender everything to the owner of the kingdom of heaven, and you allow him to lead and manage your life. Blessed or happy are you if you surrender everything and become poor in spirit. Totally surrender to God. Then he assures you he's going to walk with you in this life. You know, the kingdom of God doesn't have start when after you die. The kingdom of heaven starts now. Jesus kept repeating, the kingdom of God is at hand. It starts now and into heaven. You are not going to have to go to heaven if you are not part of the kingdom of God here and now. You don't, we don't pray for you in purgatory to go to heaven. You have to have made a decision to be controlled by God here on earth. Jesus says, if you want contentment, you want blessedness, the first thing is be poor in spirit, because if you are poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is yours. Put it differently, when you know the kingdom of heaven is yours, there will be no need of pride, there will be no cause of pride. You are going to be poor in spirit, and that way you remain with eternal hope. Number two, if you want to be blessed, then you must know that it will be important to be those who mourn. It is saying, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Put it differently, the reason you are joyful is because you are enjoying God's comfort. And why are you enjoying God's comfort? Because you mourn. And it's important to ask yourself, if you are having a time you don't feel happy, you don't have joy, you do not see yourself having hope, how can you get this joy? How can you get this blessedness? Thing number one is to mourn. What are you mourning about? That it touches you when you see society going down the drain. You don't join people going down the drain, instead you mourn. And when you mourn and God can see you mourn, he comforts you himself.